Boogie Chillen, take one. Chillen. Howdy folks, Bluesboyjag here. Got another 3-string cigar box guitar lesson. It's Boogie Chillen 3 strings by John Lee Hooker, the great boogie master. We're tuned to open G. That's an A string tuned down to G, a D string tuned normal to D, and a 3rd string or G string tuned normal to G. Super common open tune G, G, D, G, low G, D, high G. So let's get right to it. I'm using my 1st finger on the middle string on the 3rd fret, and I'm sliding up to the 5th fret. I'm strumming all the strings. The trick on this one, though, is your right hand. And you have to start with the up strum. Sounds like I'm strumming 3 times, but bump. I am strumming 3 times, but it's a lot different than you would expect it to be as far as the movements of the hands. So notice I'm starting with the open G, and then I'm immediately hammering that 1st finger on the middle string on the 3rd fret, and I'm sliding up to the 5th fret. So I'm doing 1 single upstroke on the open G, and then I'm immediately putting my 1st finger on that middle string on the 3rd fret, and then I'm doing ba-da-da, ba-da-da. Super important that you start with the up strum, and I'm choking with that hand when I slide up. My 1st finger is the finger that slides, and when I get up here, it's 3 G notes. It's G, G, G. Then I'm doing ba-da-da, which is your open G. Again, starting with the up. Oops, I messed up. The interesting thing about this particular song is there's really only 2 chords. It's the 1 chord, which is your G, and that's the key. And it's the 4 chord, which is your C. And what I'm doing here is I'm barring across the 5th fret with my 1st finger, and I'm using my pinky 2 frets up on the 1st finger. So that one on the 1st string. So that's going to be on the 8th fret. I'm only using my 1st finger and pinky. The other 2 fingers are just kind of hanging in midair. So that little riff there is your 4 chord. And then we go back to the 1 chord. And that's the whole song. It's a 1-4 chord progression. It's not even a 1-4-1 chord progression. It's just a 1-4. So you're starting on the 1, which is the G, and then it goes up to the D, and that's your D, or 4, then you go back to the 1. Instead of going to the 5, like a lot of songs do, it ends on the 4. So the first lyric on this is, well, my mama wouldn't allow just to stay out all night long. Well, my mama allowed stay out all night long. I said my mama wouldn't allow just to stay out all night long. I didn't care what mama allowed. I was gonna boogie anyhow. Well, the first time I came to town, people, everybody talk about Henry Swing Club. I decided to drop in that night. When I got there, man is really having a ball. So that's your 4 chord right there. And it's a really cool boogie. Make sure you do the upstrokes on that. Then it goes back to the 1 chord, and then it ends, and it starts over again. So that's the main part of the song, just 2 chords. Now we're hanging on the 1 here, so we can play all sorts of improvisational boogie because we're tuned to open G. So, as John Lee Hooker did. So we're going to experiment with some of that. So real slow. Basically, what I'm doing, it sounds pretty fancy, but it's really not. I'm kind of experimenting and just kind of moving around from the 3rd fret on the 1st string to the 5th fret to the 3rd fret on the 2nd string and to the 3rd and 5th fret on the 3rd string. And I'm doing repetitive motifs, so I'm doing these little tiny riffs. Just making stuff up, which is what John Lee did. Now, one thing that's real important is do a lot of choking. Check out some of my other videos. There's 2 or 3 about all about choking with an open tune chord. So this whole thing I'm doing right here is the 1 chord. It's all a G chord. The only time it goes to the C is when I do that little riff. So 90% of the entire song is 1 chord. The boogie licks are really what makes this song shine. I'm muting. And then I'm not muting, and then I am muting. I'm constantly muting and unmuting. And I'm muting with this hand. Chillen. So the 2 parts on this song for the verse. Notice how I'm going. So that's the 1 chord, and then you have this, which I showed you before. That's your 4 chord. The only other part on this song, that ends any sort of boogie that you're doing. So there's probably 3 or 4 or 5 different boogie motifs that I put into this song whenever I play it. The song is about 4 or 5 minutes long, and that's how I usually end those motifs, as I go. So what I'm doing here is first finger on 2, 5, and you're playing all 3 G notes. G, G, G. Then I go I kick back into it. And that's the whole song. It seems a lot more intricate and a lot more difficult than it really is. When my mama would allow just to stay out all night long. Said my mama would allow just to stay out all night long. I didn't care what mama allowed. I was gonna boogie anyhow. Well, the first time I came to town, people, everybody talked about Henry Swing Club. I decided I'd drop in that night. When I got there, man, they's really having a ball. There's your 4-chord. Now we're done with the 4-chord. I mean, you can end the song, after do another kind of verse or two, and then you're done with the whole song if you want to right there. The 4-chord often is just one time in the entire song, and the rest of it, John Lee would boogie on the 1. Of course, you can do all that twice if you want, however you want to do it. Verse, and then your 4-chord. That's another way you can do the riff. Alright, so let me show you a couple other things as far as the boogie part. What I'm doing is just strumming all 3 strings, and I'm kind of randomly playing these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 notes. So you hear the whole chord, but you also hear the improvisation on top. Well, what's that? It's sort of a C, but I have the G on the bottom, which is a really cool boogie lick. John Lee did that a lot. And then I'm going down here, which is an A sharp. Jag, what happened to 1, 4, 5? You can't do that? Sure you can. I haven't even gone up here to the 12th fret G, right? Don't forget about that. So I'm borrowing on the 12th fret, and then 3 frets up, you have the exact same licks I played down here. They're all right there. Same thing, same strum pattern, same fingers, same everything. So experiment with that. Come up with your own boogie licks. Trust me, you're going to come up with dozens and dozens, because it's a whole lot of fun. You don't really have to come out with a full arrangement for the song. It's really just one chord for the most part, and then you go to the 4-chord for a bit, and then you do your boogie, and then you do another verse, and maybe go to the 4-chord one more time, but you don't even have to do that. On John Lee's version, I believe he only goes to the 4-chord one time in the entire song. So experiment with that. Get your fingers boogieing with this hand as well. Oh, one more lick I forgot. If you haven't seen my other lessons, my other boogie lessons, check it out. This is in one of them. Notice how I'm going. Then the next time I slide real quick. So it's ba-da-ba-da-bum boo-da-da-bimp ba-da-bum boo-da-da-ba-da-da-bum boo-bim-ba-bimp ba-da-bum boo-da-da. And this hand is doing the muting. share, and subscribe. Check out my web store since 2004. Hey, that rhymes. Cigar box guitars just like this one. And subscribe. Did I say subscribe? I did say subscribe. We'll see you next time.